Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here, coming to you from someplace special in Central Florida, the community of just about 13,000 residents, Mount Dora. Now do not be fooled by its name. There's not a lot of elevation in this state. Where I'm standing is 200 or so feet above sea level. There is no real mountain. Nonetheless, I'm gonna roam around and check out the nooks and crannies of this particular town. About an hour or so north of Orlando. Let's get in there. I'm inviting you to join me. Shall you? Upon entering, greeted by the remnants of an old mechanic shop, there's even some tires just hiding there in the darkness under the shroud of shade. The roof is caving in. Structural stability not really happening at the moment. No longer in use for what it was originally intended. It's become a pallet breeding ground. John P. Donnelly, who was the first mayor, built his home in 1893, a Queen Anne style house. Starting to thunder a little bit. I think we're gonna get some rain. It really is a beautiful piece of architecture, currently used for lodge meetings. Unique style theater here called The Princess. Here in this cobblestone alley there is an inscription stating, "Butterflies can't see their wings. They can't see how beautiful they are, but others can." People are like that as well. Classic neon, the Simpson Hotel. Certainly love that. Train depot is now used as the Chamber of Commerce. I'm gonna step inside, see if I can get some general information on what to see in this neck of the woods. But noticing down here is a rolling luggage cart from back in the good old days. All aboard! In the past, could have gone down to Fort Myers or even all the way up to New York. What a way to commute.
It was from where you were to where you were going.
So you put your destination in there and turn the little wheel and it would just give you the mileage?
Yeah.
What year was that?
Just as early 1900s. So probably, I'd say 1920 probably.
Like many things here, this is on the National Registry of Historical Places. Up on the roof is a mechanism to let the conductors know if they should go or stop. It goes directly down through the ceiling to the floor, and whoever is indoors operates it. One of the train cars along the rails has been converted into the Magical Meat Boutique. Clever idea if you don't feel like walking. You can't buy happiness, but you can rent a bike just to get around. A lot of animated figures painted here in this parking lot. See if you recognize most of them, starting on the left end. And then I will just kind of meander down that direction. Some of these I certainly am familiar with, while others I don't know. Pretty neat idea to just take a paintbrush and inscribe all these classic figures here on the ground. Oh, I know that guy. And him too. This is no ordinary concrete pole. Those are the backside of minions. They might seem friendly and destructible, but in a head-on collision, those would be the winner. Very solid.
But that building is where they would have processed pineapples that would have come up from South Florida. They would have brought them up on steamboats, unloaded them down here at the Lakeside Inn dock. Now this is the Lakeside Inn, which is the oldest continually operating inn in the whole state of Florida. That taller center section was the original first section, which was built by Colonel Alexander in the, was it 1883. Now we've had some famous people stay here that I'm not allowed to tell you about. I'm not supposed to tell you Henry Ford and Thomas Edison. They come up from the winter homes in Fort Myers, and quite often they quite enjoy Mount Dora. And that famous gangster, Al Capone, he would come here quite often. But I can't tell you about those guys because it can't be documented. But it says so on the internet, so you know it's right.
It's got to be true.
It's got to be. Now the Coolidges stayed here for 5 weeks after he left office, and they quite enjoyed Mount Dora, and the Eisenhowers were here too about a week after they left office. They manufactured ice there up until 1948, 1950, I believe. Then they ceased because I guess a lot of people had refrigerators. They didn't need ice for the icebox. So Mount Dora is pretty original. You know, we're original printers, so they called it the Ice House Theater. Now I have to warn you what's going to happen next, because right now you're only 40 feet above sea level, and you're going to climb Mount Dora in a golf cart with me. So the air may be thinner. So it's the third highest point, I'm saying, south of the Panhandle. So take some deep breaths, oxygenate your blood. I'll have to tell you when you're there because you won't believe it.
You got to be prepared for this.
Yeah, I just want you to be ready, that's all I'm saying. It's important that you are ready.
Moving right along. Oh.
We're up to about 15, 14 miles an hour right now. We'll go as high as 23, 24. Got no place to go, so what the hell's in a hurry? A little bump as we come over the train tracks here. Now this is supposed to be 184 feet above sea level, as surveyed by the federal surveyors in 1846. So I know that's the elevation right here. But if you ask me, it's higher up there by the Episcopal Church.
So at this cross street of Grandview and 3rd, it's the highest elevated point.
The third highest point, south of the Panhandle.
Third highest point south of the Panhandle.
By the federal surveyors in 1846. Now this house over, oh yeah, the windmill's turning in the backyard today. That's the house that Mr. Watt built in 1905. And he was a big citrus grower. And he used that windmill to irrigate his citrus crop, which was all the way back there. Now it was the first place to have house, I should say, to have a swimming pool. Only bed and breakfast with a swimming pool that I know of.
This alley was the original Mount Dora.
That was the main street.
The main street. Now it's just an alley.
Yep. In 1883, this is the oldest standing house in all of Mount Dora. And of course, that was a carriage house over there. Now they were here for a few years and Mr. Stone passed away, leaving Mrs. Stone with 3 small children. In the 1880s, that was very difficult for a widow with 3 small children. Well, she met up with Captain Donnelly, and they got married, and he built that house I just explained to her. Our cracker house was designed to have at least 3 sides as screened-in ports to get airflow before Dr. Carrier invented air conditioning. And so they would get the breeze through there. Now they're called crackers. I don't know if you know why they were called crackers. Because in South Florida many years ago, what would happen was the cattlemen had these big whips, and those cattle would get stuck in all the areas, you know, all the growth and the undergrowth. So they'd snap the whips and crack them to move the cattle along. That's the name, Florida cracker. Now, when the kids would come out to school in 1913, it was not uncommon for them to find 2 or 3 alligators in that pond. And that building, everybody wants to call it a carriage house. That was never a carriage house. That house was a dwelling for the 3 servants that would wait on the people in the main structure. And we can pretty well tell that because they tried to build it on the same scale with columns as you can see at the front. But if you look up the roof, you see what's left of the chimney. So it tells me it was a living quarters. And some years ago, somebody put an overhead garage door in there. This old house is like 1912, 1910. Wonderful old house. So this was the extent of Mount Dora. Now, this is our little museum here, this building, which was originally our firehouse, and later became our jail. And if you look down here, you'll see those 2 double doors. That's where the 1926 American and France fire truck would come out those little doors. We had no fire protection here in Mount Dora. The whole part of town burned down. We went up to Elmira, New York, and bought an American France fire truck from them. We used that fire truck up until 1951. We sold it to Sorrento, a little hamlet east of here, and they used it up till 1962.
So these little brown doors here?
These doors here, that's it. Wow. Just replaced them about 8 years ago.
The weather, not exactly the best conditions today, but a big thank you to local resident who does tours in his golf cart, just showing me around the streets. Pretty interesting. In 1981, a movie was filmed downtown. They painted all the buildings pink. And to this day, from this angle, you can see that shot and some of the remnants of the coloration still over there on the poles. Obviously faded quite a bit since those days, but there's the original color and still a few layers of paint on there. Not as bright as it was in '81. A little bit of it seeping over into the next storefront as well. Congregation was organized in 1883, making this the oldest church building in town. No matter its age or historical significance, was also doused in pink paint up to the steeple. There once was a 15-foot, that's right, 15-foot alligator. They used to romp around in these waters, named Old Joe. He's since passed on, but his memory remains, and he's been honored in the form of a statue right here along the lakefront. Oh my gosh! Where'd he go? That was amazing! I'm certainly getting the full Florida experience, even though I'm utilizing an umbrella. Doesn't help out the bottom of the pants region. Soaked. It was said he would not only eat fish, but sometimes wild deer. Old Joe. You were ruthless. Goodness gracious. He's big. Word of warning. No, he's not gonna bite you. This is just a statue. This is not a real alligator. But word of warning has been planted here in the grass. Caution, surface may be hot. Not today. Not with this rain. A little shower never hurt anyone, right, Joe? Refreshing at times. These cars that are passing by are looking at me like I'm out of my mind, talking to a metal creature while it's downpouring. But I couldn't pass this up. Thunder or not, I had to see you, Old Joe. A few years ago, the residents of this home decided to paint the wall outside their house just like Starry Night by Vincent van Gogh. The city council did not like that idea and told them that the home must also be coordinated with the wall. So instead of repainting the wall, they just painted the whole house like Starry Night. That's going to do it for today. If you're new here, please subscribe by doing so. Helps keep you in the loop on future uploads here on this channel. Take it a step further, ring that notification bell. And if you enjoyed this particular episode, give it a big thumbs up. It lets me know you care. I'll see you in the next video. The vlog is over.